People have a lot of different approaches for keeping their stuff organized and with them when they're in the shop. And Dave's here with a tip for us that I probably need to learn from, because I'm really good at shoving stuff in my pockets, setting it down on the bench, and then I forget where it is, and I spend about 20% of my time looking for tools. So what's your approach, Dave, to keeping your common stuff nearby?
And that's exactly where I'd find myself is, where's my tape measure? Where's my pencil? Where's my square? You know, it ends up getting scattered around my shop because I'm a little bit scattered up
yourself.
here.
Yep.
Yes.
I was
So
hoping you'd say it before I
I've
did.
started out in this business working as a carpenter, and of course carpenters wear belts, and this was my solution. I don't use the big double belted carpenter belt, just a single pouch. And I just carry my essentials.
So
the
your
tools,
common inventory.
Yep, the tools that I use all the time.
And for somebody getting going
Tape
here,
measure,
okay.
and I take off the clip because there's no need for that, and it makes it smaller and fits in there. A little 12-foot measures everything I need to make as a furniture and cabinet maker. Pencil sharpener, keep this guy sharpened. So I've got all my marking and layout tools right there, and just in case I make a mistake, I've got a little eraser.
I can't imagine
That,
you'd ever
I
need
rarely ever use that.
it. Looks like it's still pretty new.
Hearing protection. I
What?
love these little guys because they fit right in my pouch and they do a good job. And you know, I don't have to carry around big muffs or go find them where I left them last. And spend a lot less time chasing around the shop. And then for checking cuts and things like that, just a small engineer's square.
This is starting to look like the clowns coming out of a Volkswagen. You got a lot of stuff in there.
I do. Not really, though. It's pretty light, and you'd hardly even notice that you have it on. The other thing I like about wearing it on the hip, when I bend over and things like stuff doesn't fall out of my pocket, I'm not being pinched in the belly like I do with stuff in an apron, for example. And so I think it has a lot going for it. These little pry bars are wonderful in case you should have to take something apart.
It's kind of
Not
fits
that that
kind of
ever
with the
happens
eraser,
either. Yeah, that goes with the eraser over here. And just my little straight rule with
6-inch scale.
yep, which is handy for, you know, depth gauges and dados and checking things like that. And of course, a knife for whenever
Fighting
you need
your
a
way out
knife.
of a project.
Yeah, and this is just a little chip carving knife, but it works well. And
So that's for you, that's serving the purpose of like a utility knife
yes.
in your apron.
And then and in here I have my little scratch awl for when I want to mark out using a scratch awl. And lastly, for my dust collection system, I have my remote control attached to my belt. So everything is right there. I'm not running around looking for things.
You're like the Batman of woodworking.
Yeah.
What about dust getting in there while you're working?
Yeah. Every once in a while I take everything out and
Dump it.
do one of these. Yeah.
But as long as you're not turning on the lathe, it's
No.
not.
I mean, the things
crazy
that
good.
really gets packed sometimes are these little pencil pockets, but it's minor. Doesn't.
Well, it's a good tip. It's worth two things out of this. One, the idea of the apron. Also, Dave's kind of standard toolkit here of what he thinks people should have in their aprons to keep nearby for their work to
Every
make it
day.
more efficient.
Yep.
Very good. Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.